boost of serotonin, go outside, look at green, look at blue. Why? Because green and blue are the colors of life. And how amazing it is and liberating, and we can rest our minds even just by going outside for a little bit and enjoying nature. That is just one of them.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of the MindShift Game. Today, we're going to be talking about self-care and fitness of the mind. Yes, you heard me. Fitness of the mind. What does that mean to be mentally fit, to be mentally preparing, to be on the top of your game and achieve anything and everything that you desire? We're going to be talking about tips. What has led us to be here now? And how do we continue to develop ourselves in a way that we're going to continue to reap the benefits of our success, right? We continue to move forward. We continue to have an extraordinary time. Today's guest, Blanca Rodriguez, who is an amazing individual coach. She has an extraordinary background and is here today to talk about these two very important topics, self-care and mental fitness. Welcome, Blanca.
Thank you so much, Rocío, for having me here. It's an honor for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, let's start talking. Let's dive right into the topic because it's a topic that's very fascinating in such a fast-paced world that we don't think about. We think about the physical fitness. We think about the overall self-care. Did I get enough food, enough sleep, enough this, enough that? Yet we don't think about like the fitness of the mind as when it comes to self-care. Give us some amazing insights. What is it to begin with?
Fitness of the mind is having self-awareness of how our minds can be working on a daily basis. Awareness comes with, let's say, we get up in the morning. Do you look at your phone, at your Facebook or your emails, or you exercise gratitude for the simple things we have in life, like laying on our bed, having a roof over our shoulders? Do we take a breather, breathe slowly and deeply, and wake up with a big smile on our face because we're breathing still? That and so many other things can help us with the fitness of the mind. There's something called meditation. Meditation, no, it's not a religion. No, it's not a cult. It's simply quieting the mind, let's say with soft music, or guiding meditation that can help us ease down after a very hard day of work and de-stress our minds and our souls as well. So fitness of the mind is as important as fitness of the body.
That's fascinating, Blanca, because we don't think about that. We think about many, many different things, but even a meditation is exercising the mind, having a conversation, developing our awareness. They say that problems are the exercise of the mind.
Right?
And when we're going through that, I always love this as my clients call me and they're like, Rocio, I'm going through a difficult time. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, are you crazy? And I'm like, yes, I am in a way, because it allows you to think about something in a very different way. It allows you to, hey, you know what? We've exhausted everything we've known. That's why we're having this amazing roadblock when we see it as an opportunity to say,
That's right. Yes.
wow, maybe there's an opportunity for me to expand and learn something and move beyond this. And speaking of that, in your experience, where are some opportunities to go ahead and expand the mind? How does somebody even go about that? Okay, yes, maybe I do meditation, but what else? What else does it encompass?
Definitely going outside can exercise our minds tremendously. The happy chemicals of our bodies can get a very nice boost with something as simple as going outside, breathing fresh air, and enjoying the sunlight. There is a happy chemical of our bodies called serotonin, and our serotonin is the feel good chemicals of our bodies. It makes us happy, it makes us calm, and sunlight and vitamin D, of course, is one of the big recommendations for people that have a lack of serotonin, meaning feeling down, feeling depressed, feeling overstressed and anxious. Boost of serotonin, go outside, look at green, look at blue. Why? Because green and blue are the colors of life. And how amazing it is and liberating, and we can rest our minds even just by going outside for a little bit and enjoying nature. That is just one of them.
I love that, Blanca, because we don't think about that. We weren't meant to be inside of buildings, right?
Mhm.
Inside of concrete our entire life. And I know what an amazing impact it makes in my life as I continue to go out beyond where I'm at into the environment. Now, Blanca, what an amazing experience to be out in nature. We were not meant to be inside of buildings that oh my gosh, I'm distracted because now, Blanca, what an amazing experience to be out in nature. We were not meant to be indoors. And what does that look like? I know for me, anytime I'm outdoor, I'm having an extraordinary day. I love going out on my walks, even if it's around the block. If that's all I have time for to go around the block. And sometimes those blocks are pretty long, sometimes they're a little short. But just simply going around the block and being in nature, smelling the flowers and observing the trees and the birds and whatever's out there, it's very invigorating,
Absolutely.
very
Absolutely. It sure
nurturing.
is. Mhm.
Now, we talk about other ways of exercising the mind. And earlier, you and I had connected about what about hiring coaches? What does that mean to help us expand? How does somebody go into selecting the right person? Is it a coach that I need? Is it a mentor that I need? Is it a sponsor that I need? Maybe I need a therapist. Who knows what it is, right? Maybe it's a combination of all of them. And I've had them all at the same time as well. How does somebody
Absolutely.
go about
In life, there's many things, as many of us, that we can be overachievers. Most of the time, and many times, we want to do it alone. And one of the biggest, not mistakes, but challenges in life is exactly that, trying to do it alone all the way, especially us women. My experience, I highly recommend, don't do it alone. Find a mentor if for example, if you want to be a speaker and an educator, find a mentor that can help you through the process of making a speech, practicing a speech. If you're having challenges, let's say with the soul, you feel like your spirituality is really not in conjunction with how you feel some emptiness, maybe going to your pastor, maybe going to your spiritual healer may help you if you are thriving, because this happens a lot. Many people may thrive in finances, in their careers, but they're neglecting their families. They're neglecting their lifestyle. They're neglecting even their health. That's when a life coach can really be of help to keep us aware, to keep us in track. This is, I mean, I can make the comparison to a coach, let's say, to professional basketball players. Let's say LeBron James. LeBron James doesn't need anybody to teach him how to play basketball, but he needs a coach to keep him in track with his training. Same thing is the training of the mind, the training of the body, the training of the soul to help us with growth. Because if we are not growing, we are in decay. That's why we have so many options that should really be studied. Maybe a counselor can be the best help in this world of so many challenges, and depression has skyrocketed since COVID-19 to over 50%. I was reading a fabulous article just the other day that 61% of people that experience stress in this lifetime right now is due to work. 62% is due to family issues. 59% is because of health concerns. This is when self care comes in because self-care is the best care that we can provide for ourselves. That is a fact.
Oh, and it's fascinating is to say too that 87% of the thoughts that we have may be negative. Right,
Absolutely.
that we're in that negative spin and we don't even know that it's actually happening. So how do we take control or take the reins? And we hide from ourselves. There's so many blind spots that we have.
That's right.
90% of our life is full of blind spots and we don't recognize the fact that there's things that are going on that are outside of our awareness about ourselves. And a lot of people think, well, maybe I'll coach myself. Yes, to a certain extent. Yes, important to start to develop the awareness through the support of others so that until we build that muscle, we can go ahead and start coaching ourselves at a very different level. We develop the awareness, catching ourselves in the act and really thinking about it's interesting that I have notes here, right? Because those patterns are so deeply ingrained and I have some here, it's the family, it's the relationships, it is the culture, the generation, the abuse,
Mhm,
society, you name it what it is. Like that pattern is solidified through those particular lenses and think about concrete. So every layer has concrete. Maybe it's family, maybe it's social, maybe it's emotional, whatever it is, that it takes something
mhm.
to
Absolutely.
transcend that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
So,
cannot agree more with you. And the beauty of having a coach, a life coach, is that you'll have an accountability partner. It's easy to do. And when decisions are easy to make, it's easier to not put it into practice. And this is when life coaching comes into play. I'm not only a holistic life coach, but I get coaching myself. I truly believe that we should and must practice what we preach. And if I don't try things on myself first, how am I going to have the capacity to recommend it to others?
indeed. Speaking of that, what a perfect segue. What has been one of your greatest epiphanies? Because I know as a coach, you have your own coach.
Mhm,
And I believe that we could only continue to grow to the capacity that we expand ourselves. I also have my own coaches that coach me beyond where I'm at. And so my clients are only going to grow to the degree that I grow.
mhm.
What was that epiphany in your life that you said, you know what? I need a coach. I want a coach. I'm working with a coach. And number 2, what was that thing that shifted inside of you that you said, now life is much more amazing because of that?
I came to terms that I couldn't do it alone because I've been in my most of my life, I self-indoctrinated as of you're a woman, you gotta do it on your own. I was a single mother to 2 kids, so I was literally doing everything on my own as a mother in a dysfunctional relationship. And years later, when I graduated as a massage therapy and started practicing, is when the epiphany started as of, okay, I am giving so much of myself and giving so much and so much and so much that I'm running on empty. How am I going to get that gasoline, fill it up again, that tank to full again by getting help? By accepting that I cannot do it alone and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was one of the most empowering things that I ever done in my life was get the help that I so very much needed and deserved at that moment. What has been my outcome with receiving coaching? All of the little achievements, all of the micro goals achieved, all the macro goals achieved, being right here with you right now at this moment. This is a huge achievement. And this, I mean, thank God for the epiphanies that life gives us and being able to embrace every single one of them.
And that's so powerful when we start to become that observer of self and figuring out what have I been doing? Where have I been? That's the first question that we get to answer. Where am I at? And where do I want to be? So, in order to become who I want to be, what must I do to do that? What are some of your greatest examples of clients that have transcended that?
Right now, I have an amazing client that she comes from a lot of trauma. She was born and raised in Europe with a family that she never felt loved. She felt neglected. She felt like she was a mistake. One of her parents even told her that she was a mistake. So she grew up with a lot of anger, but anger is, let's say, the wall to fear. So anger and fear were her two biggest downfalls. And with the coaching that she is receiving at this time, she is pregnant now, and she's living a much more peaceful life. She is highly aware of why her anger is there, why her anger can happen. And she's learning with mindfulness, which is so important. Mindfulness, meditation, breathing exercises, walking outside, and embracing her beautiful pregnancy because she looks beautiful, but she didn't feel beautiful. She didn't feel she felt unworthy. She felt unworthy of everything that was coming to her life. And the transformation that this young, brave, beautiful woman is going through, it makes me humble. It makes me have the honor because it's our honor to help our clients. Definitely it transcends much more than a service that we're giving. It makes us happy that our clients are happy. That is for sure. And she is blossoming into the woman she has always been meant to be.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think about that even in my own epiphany the day that I had been coaching people for quite a few years, over 16 years, when I realized, I'm like, wow, nobody's ever coached me. Like, what about me? What about my own life? And it wasn't anything that had to do with education. When we think about coaching, we think about career, we think about education, money, whatever. For me, it was connection with my mother. It was
Mhm.
that, and that led me on the most amazing journey of my life to self-discover nobody's coached me. There's something there for me to heal, and whether it's real, whether it's believed, whether it's perceived, or whatever it is, there's something there to heal. And my life, there's the life before and there's a life after, right? And that's the beauty of it. Final words of advice right now. What would you share with somebody as they're going through their journey?
This is one of my favorite advice that first of all I apply to myself and I can give to anyone around the world. The wounds are not our fault, but the healing is our responsibility. The more self-awareness that we build amongst ourselves, the happier our lives will be. Exercising calm, de-stress. Don't worry so much. Change is unavoidable. Change is a constant. Change is part of our lives. Maybe we can just roll with it. Self-care is the best care. And self-love is the most unconditional love that we can have. In order to love others the way we deserve to be loved, we got to love ourselves first. And that is a beautiful journey in itself. Be flexible. Don't be so rigid about things in life. And in a world that is so imperfect, it's a good thing to be imperfect. That's for sure.
Beautiful advice. Thank you so much, Blanca. Thank you for being here. And
Thank you.
to our viewers and listeners, my invitation is to review this, see it multiple times, see what you discover every single time, thinking about what self care is, what mental fitness is, what investing in yourself is, what is being compassionate, loving, caring, self love, and how all of that plays an extraordinary role in our life and in our minds and in our bodies, and in essence, in the lives of everyone else around us. Because when we're happy and fulfilled, so do other people get to achieve that level. They get the permission. That's important. So take 5 minutes today. Three things that you can do. And you know exactly what it is that's important for you to do right now in order for you to take advantage of this opportunity. of creating yourself at a very different level because we're always evolving. That is a constant thing. Change is the only constant in this world. Have an amazing time.